Let's first get you get you up with the latest on the world's largest democratic election in India. The voting for Phase 4 of the Lok Sabha elections, covering 96 constituencies spread over 9 states and a union territory, concluded on Monday evening. The fourth phase saw over 62% voter turnout till 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Polling held for 13 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 11 in Maharashtra, 8 each in Madhya Pradesh and Bengal, 5 in Bihar, 4 each in Odisha and Jharkhand, and 1 in Jammu and Kashmir. A total of 1,717 candidates are in the fray for the fourth phase of general elections. Andhra Pradesh and Odisha will also pick their next governments simultaneous elections. The voting began at 7 a.m. local time and concluded at 6 p.m. With this, polling has now been completed in 23 states and union territories. And in the fourth phase, polling was also held in Jammu and Kashmir's Srinagar constituency with 24 candidates in the fray. Voting in the Union Territory was held for the first time after its special status was revoked in 2019. After the abrogation of Article 370, 1.7 million voters are eligible to vote across 2,135 polling stations in 5 districts. And let's connect with our correspondent Siddharth Bhardwaj, who joins us live from Kanpur. Siddharth, give us a sense of now that the voting is going to come to a close, 6 p.m. when the voting closes. But I understand the people who get inside the polling booths complex are allowed to vote till whatever time it takes. Give us a sense of how the day went by. What kind of crowds did you see? We do know figures till 5 p.m. but paint us the picture on the ground where you are.
Hi, Amrit. A very good evening to you. First of all, I'm here in Kanpur. I also went to Kannauj, one of the high-profile constituencies, which went to polls today. There are 13 seats, as we know, who went to polls today in Uttar Pradesh, a state with the highest number of Lok Sabha seats, which is 80. But as of now, if you ask me about the picture right now that the polling has ended, then you can see behind me there are no such queues. It has ended. And if I talk to you about the voter turnout, then till 5 p.m. the figures everyone is having. Here, it's not that impressive. It's about 51% here in Kanpur as of now. And Uttar Pradesh as a whole, in 13 seats, it's about 56%. So the figures are not that impressive. If I compare this voter turnout to 2019 in Kanpur, then in Kanpur, it was 51%. Until now, it's 50%. But we know for a fact that these figures are tentative figures, and as the day will progress, the figures will certainly change, the percentage will change, and within 1 or 2 days we'll get the final voter turnout. But as of now, it's not that impressive. I went to Kannauj also, like I was saying, Amritpal, and it's one of the most high.
Siddharth, if I can stop you, if we talk about the seats that went to polls today, if we were to compare, if you have that figure with you, if we can compare to 2019, we say it's 56.36% by 5 p.m. This is discounting the voting that takes place till 6. Let's add another 2.5%, so close to about 58-59%. If we assume it goes down to that, compare it with 2019.
Well, definitely, Amrit, if you say that, if we add 2 more percent, then it becomes 58%. It's also not impressive turnout, despite several initiatives launched by the Election Commission of India to actually create awareness amongst the voters. The Election Commission of India's flagship program, which is SWEEP, systematic voters, electoral and system education and electoral participation. That's a flagship program by the Election Commission of India, and not just Election Commission of India. There have been certain youth organizations as well, and some other organizations as well, who are initiating these programs, and reviving the cultural heritage as well. Like if I give you an example, where when I was in Chhattisgarh, there were people were given turmeric and yellow rice as part of the tradition to revive the tradition as well, and to invite them as well. So here also in Uttar Pradesh, these initiatives were launched, but then
True.
despite that, the voting percentage
So,
was not as it was
true.
expected. And certain somehow, Election Commission of India has also said that weather is to be blamed because it's scorching heat. Although there have been arrangements made by the Election Commission of India of proper drinking water and shed as well, so that the voters who come, who came, who were standing in the queues could get drinking water at least and a shed, because temperature here was really, really high. And so were the spirits when the voting started at 7 a.m. But voter turnout, if according to you, we are 2 percentage points, it's not that impressive. I believe more and more voter turnout should be there because people should understand that it's their right, it's their right. And, when they do that, they
Siddharth,
are the ones
all
who are
that is,
selecting.
Siddharth, all that is very right. But, I was covering phase 3, 10 seats that went to polls on the 7th of this month. If we look at phase 1, the voting was compared to 2019 down. Phase 2, we saw the same trend, though it was about 5-6% down as compared to 2019 on those particular seats. The phase 3, the gap closed a bit. It was about 2-2.5% down. Say, assuming it is about the same, the gap is closing. But what do you sense on the ground? Why is the voting percentage in Uttar Pradesh coming down really? Heat can't be the only factor. I mean, every year elections are held around the same time, and a degree centigrade here and there is what the temperatures are. So what is the sense that you pick up on the ground, that why aren't people enthused? What is it about?
Amit, I'm here in Kanpur. I'm at ground zero, where the voting is happening, and it's one of the constituencies going to polls. I believe, in my opinion, if you ask me really, that it's the procrastination by the masses, especially from the youths who don't actually want to come out of their houses. And some people, if I should say this, then some people think that this is the day dedicated to just relax at home, but that should not be the case. You've really pointed out right that heat cannot be the only issue, but it's the awareness which comes from within. It's something which has to hit here at the heart and the mind. That yes, I am a citizen of India. I am a citizen of this state. I have to go and I have to vote because my vote matters. And I am the one who will be selecting the MP who will be representing this constituency. If I am not voting, I can't complain.
True. But well, that's what things are like. You and I can't preach to people. That's what it is like, and the voting percentage is consistently. We'll have to know the figures by the end of the day.
You asked me, so I gave you my assessment, Amrit.
Absolutely, Siddharth. Siddharth, I'll have to thank you. That's all the time we have for. Thank you very much for joining us. Take care of yourself. It's very hot outside. Drink a lot of fluids. Thank you for the moment. Meanwhile, campaigning is on in full swing for the 5th phase of polls. Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi held election rallies in the eastern state of Bihar today. Addressing a public rally in Hajipur, Prime Minister Modi emphasized BJP's unwavering dedication to building a developed India and a developed Bihar. He also assured equal participation in decision-making for all, slamming the opposition. The Prime Minister said that both the RJD and the Congress stress on their vote bank and not on the people of the state. At another rally in Bihar's Muzaffarpur, Prime Minister Modi noted that the election is to decide the future of the country, and the country does not want a weak and unstable government like that the Congress could provide.
डरपोक प्रधानमंत्री देश चला सकता है क्या? आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं, ये लोग इतने डरे हुए हैं, इनको रात में सपने में भी पाकिस्तान का परमाणु बम दिखाई देता है। अब ऐसी पार्टियां, ऐसे नेता जिनको रात में भी सोते सोते पाकिस्तान का परमाणु बम दिखाई दे, क्या इनको देश दे सकते हैं क्या? ऐसे लोगों को देश दे सकते हैं क्या?
Prime Minister Modi also held a roadshow in Uttar Pradesh, Varanasi. Varanasi is the constituency of Narendra Modi himself. So he held this rally of visuals of which we are playing out on the screens along with him, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath. And ahead of his election rallies, Prime Minister Modi offered prayers at Patna Sahib Gurdwara in Bihar. Expressing his gratitude, Prime Minister Modi in a social media post said that he felt truly blessed to experience divinity, serenity and rich history of the sacred place. Prime Minister Modi said that the Gurdwara has a close link with Guru Gobind Singh, adding that the government had the honor of marking his 350th Prakash Utsav in a grand manner. Prime Minister Modi said that the teachings of the Sikh Gurus continue to inspire and guide us all. Prime Minister Modi served langar of food to the devotees at the Gurdwara in Patna. The Prime Minister was also honoured with a Samman Patra or a letter of appreciation by the Gurdwara management. And India's opposition Congress party leader Rahul Gandhi also held an election rally in Uttar Pradesh's Bareilly. Addressing the gathering, Rahul Gandhi said that if the India alliance comes to power, waiving of farmers' loans will be his first priority.
अगर कांग्रेस पार्टी की इंडिया गठबंधन की सरकार आ गई तो आपका कर्जा माफ करना मेरा पहला काम होगा। इतिहास में पहली बार हिंदुस्तान की सरकार कानूनी मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस अपने किसानों के लिए लाने जा रही है। किसानों को बीमा का पैसा मिलेगा और 30 दिन के अंदर बीमा का पैसा मिलेगा। इस भीड़ में से हजारों लोगों की लिस्ट बनेगी। लिस्ट में से हर परिवार में से एक महिला का नाम चुना जाएगा। उस महिला के बैंक अकाउंट में 50,000 नहीं, 70,000 नहीं, 90,000 नहीं, 1 लाख रुपया साल का अंदर जाएगा।
Indian Minister and BJP candidate from Hamirpur Lok Sabha seat in Himachal Pradesh, Anurag Singh Thakur, on Monday filed his nomination papers. Polling in all 4 lower house seats in Himachal Pradesh will be held in the last of the 7-phase Lok Sabha elections that will be held on the 1st of June. RJD candidate from Bihar's Patliputra Lok Sabha constituency, Misa Bharti, also filed her nomination papers for the lower house elections. Former Chief Minister of Bihar and RJD chief, who is also the father of Misa Bharti, Lalu Prasad Yadav, was also present at the occasion. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live, India provides budgetary support to Maldives. Support provides for a $50 million loan for an additional year. India's Central Board of School Education releases result of Class 10th and Class 12th.
Versus facts. In-depth news and analysis with experts who will help you decide why this election matters. DD India is the main election headquarters with numbers most accurate, data most reliable, and viewership across the platforms. Stay tuned to the Great Indian Election only on weekdays at 8:30 p.m. IST and 1500 hours GMT.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Amritpal Singh. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has said that more will change in the next 5 years than in the last 30 years. He said that this at the Policy Exchange think tank, while speaking at the Policy Exchange think tank in central London. Rishi Sunak said he would opt for national security over maintaining membership in the European Convention on Human Rights.
Now, I feel a profound sense of urgency because more will change in the next 5 years than in the last 30. I'm convinced that the next few years will be some of the most dangerous, yet the most transformational that our country has ever known. Now, I know that our international frameworks are outdated, so there may be flashpoints ahead with the ECHR. And if the Strasbourg court make me choose between the ECHR and this country's security, I will choose our country's security every single time.
In Spain, Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's Socialist Party won a local election in Catalonia. Salvador Illa, the regional socialist candidate, secured 42 seats of the 99% votes counted. The vote count is up from 33 in 2021. Negotiations or a potential repeat election may follow as the party has not yet secured majority votes. Nonetheless, this win opens the door for a regional government led by an anti-independence party, a shift from the past years. Israel is observing Memorial Day to honor fallen soldiers and victims of attacks over the years since the nation's creation in 1948. A 2-minute-long siren blared across Israel as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu attended the main ceremony at Mount Herzl in Jerusalem. Against the backdrop of an ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict, families of Israeli hostages staged a silent demonstration on a Tel Aviv highway, pausing as sirens sounded in remembrance. At the Memorial Day ceremony, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the return of hostages is at the center of his goal.
This is exactly what the war revolves around. It's either us, Israel, or them, the Hamas. We have exacted and we will exact a heavy price from the enemy for its criminal action. We will realize the goals of victory, and at the center of them is the return of all our hostages home. A victory that, with God's help, will ensure our existence and our future.
As part of efforts to increase aid routes into Gaza, Israel has opened a new humanitarian aid crossing. The Western Erez crossing in northern Gaza has been opened by the Israeli government in coordination with US. Dozens of trucks of humanitarian aid were coordinated from the port of Ashdod on behalf of the World Food Programme after undergoing security checks. Russia's acting Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said that if the West wants to fight for Ukraine on the battlefield, Russia is prepared for it. Lavrov, who has served 2 decades as foreign minister, was speaking at a parliamentary hearing on his renomination to the post in a new government being formed after President Putin started a fresh 6-year term this month. And Russia has stepped up warnings about the dangers of a direct confrontation with NATO since French President Emmanuel Macron refused to rule out the possibility that Western troops could at some point in time be sent there. Judicial Committee of Georgia's Parliament on Monday approved the Foreign Agents Bill, clearing the way for a full Parliament to vote this week on completing its passage through legislature. The bill requires organizations receiving more than 20% of their funding from abroad to register as agents of foreign influence or face fines. Georgia government says it is needed to enhance the transparency of NGO funding and protect the country from outside interference. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar stated that Shipping Minister Sarbanand Sonowal has signed a crucial long-term agreement in Tehran for India's operations at the strategic Chabahar Port. This agreement, which will be valid for 10 years between India and Iran, will make way for investments.
The very clear expectation is that the Chabahar Port, at least that part of the Chabahar Port that we are involved in, that will definitely see more investments. It will see more connectivity linkages coming out of that port. And we believe today that connectivity is a very big issue in that part. international north-south transport corridor, which we're doing with Iran, Russia. Chabahar will connect us to that, also to Central Asia. We have a separate corridor, the IMEC corridor through Saudi Arabia.
India's Minister for Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Sarbanand Sonowal, held a meeting with his Iranian counterpart on a diplomatic visit to Iran on Monday. India signed the long-term agreement with Iran on development of the Chabahar Port. A 10-year contract has been signed between India Ports Global Limited and Ports and Maritime Organization of Iran, stating an investment of $120 million in developing the port. The pact reaffirms India's firm footstep in the global supply chain and maritime sector. As a commitment towards the development of the port, India has offered $250 million to Iran's foreign minister. The port will add to India's blooming economy as it provides sea access to the landlocked country of the region and is a commercial transit hub. The minister took to the social media thanking Prime Minister Modi for strengthening links between the two great nations. India has provided a budgetary support of $50 million to the Maldives. The support is in the form of a rollover of $50 million Treasury bill for an additional year through the State Bank of India. The government of India's decision to roll over the Treasury bill came following a request made by the Maldivian Foreign Minister Musa Zamir to India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar during his official bilateral visit to India from the 8th to the 10th of May this year. Maldivian Foreign Minister took to X and thanked India for the vital budgetary support, calling it a gesture of goodwill which signifies long-standing friendship between Maldives and India. And let's now take a look at the other stories which are making news today. India and France are conducting the 7th edition of the joint military exercise Shakti starting Monday in the Amroi region of Meghalaya. The exercise aims to enhance the joint military capacity of both nations to undertake multi-domain operations in a sub-conventional scenario. India's Central Board of Secondary Education declared its high school and senior secondary school results on Monday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated the students on the occasion. Girls have again outshined boys, and this year 6.4% girls performed better than boys. And in sports, Indian Grandmasters Koneru Hampi and Vaishali Ramesh Babu and Pragnananda Ramesh Babu are set to compete in the 12th edition of the prestigious Norway Chess, which is scheduled to take place from the 27th of May to the 7th of June in Stavanger in Norway. The prestigious event will feature world number 1 Magnus Carlsen, world number 3 Hikaru Nakamura, and the current world champion Ding Liren. Women's World Championship, Ju Wenjun Lei Thingche, among others. Popularly known as the Wimbledon of chess, Norway annually extends invitations to top grandmasters. The tournament aims to provide women chess players with more opportunities and comparable prize fund. Well, that's it then in this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you who are on the go, can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app too. The app is available both on platforms, available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code being shown on your screens right now to download it. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Amrit Pal Singh, and from my entire team in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.